And welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have a weekly wrap-up slash it's kind of my weekend news too, because I realized that I never made my weekly, not my weekly wrap-up, I never made my weekend news this past weekend. I was going to make it Monday like I always do, and then it just completely slipped my mind. I was going to make it Tuesday. Could have swore I made it, and then I realized like halfway through the week I never made it, and I figured it would be too late, so I figured I would just include it in the weekly wrap-up, which is what I'm doing now. So it is Friday, so this is even a little bit earlier compared to lately, because lately I've been making them on Saturdays. But I finished a book today, so I'm all set and ready for you today. So let's just start off with what I finished last weekend. And the first book I finished was The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. I ended up giving this, I think, 4 stars. With my last weekend, my weekly wrap-up, I was saying how this is kind of putting me in a slumpy mood, and it was. And then I got to, the last 100 pages, and I could not stop bawling my eyes out for, the last 100 pages. And overall, this is a good book, a good story. I just think that I don't know what was going on in my head that I was just getting slumpy. I don't know if it's the book or what, so I just gave it 4 stars. Because it is good. I don't know. Then the last book I read last weekend was Bodyguards in Bed by Lucy Monroe, Jamie Denton, and Elisabeth Naughton. These are 3 really short stories. The whole book is only 275 pages. Short stories about girls and guys, obviously. In each story, they're completely different. And in each story there's a bodyguard, and obviously this is an adult romance, so obviously it's got sex, and the fact that it's only each story is maybe 100 pages, not even. They're very quick reads, they're already basically interested in each other, or it's love at first sight or something. So they're very quick, but they're really good. I gave them 5 stars. My favorite was the last one, which was written by Elisabeth Naughton, which is very surprising because I was looking on Goodreads, and a lot of people actually did not like hers, and they liked Lucy Monroe's better, which kind of surprised me because I wasn't crazy about that one. I think the second one by Jamie Denton and Elisabeth Naughton, those are my 2 favorites. But yeah, adulty, lustful goodness that sometimes you just need. No other answer for that one. And then I read 3 books this week, which surprised me because I said, hey, I'm going to read these over the long weekend, and I kind of read them before the long weekend happened, which I kind of have a disclaimer for. For some reason, I had convinced myself that once this 4-day weekend happened, that it was going to be only 1 week and then February's over, which isn't even true. There's 2 weeks of February left. So I'm not exactly sure where I got that in my head. But anyways, I read the Bright Young Things trilogy by Godbersen. I started off with this one on Monday, and it took me until Wednesday night-ish to finish. I wasn't loving it yet. I still really liked Gillian Larkin's The Flappers trilogy a lot better. Obviously, this takes place in the 90s. It follows 3 girls. 2 of the girls, Cordelia and Letty, live in Ohio, and they escape to live in New York City, and obviously they want bright, beautiful things, and they have their life set out for them. Cordelia is looking for her long-lost father because she has been kind of orphaned, and she wants to go find her father, and Letty wants to be this big music singer star. And when they get there, they also meet Astrid, who is our 3rd female character, who already lives there and is already into this lifestyle. And we follow their love stories and the drama of Cordelia's father's business and everything like that. This book I gave 4 stars. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would have. Some things just seemed very predictable, and some things just seemed too easy. This isn't really a spoiler because it takes place over all 3. Cordelia meets her father, and he almost accepts her as his daughter immediately. I'm sorry, if a girl walked into my house and was like, hey, I'm your daughter, it would be what? Are you sure? But he took a few sentences as proof and was like, okay, thanks, you're my daughter. And it was kind of like, that seemed very easy. So that just kind of was interesting. The love stories are interesting. There's a lot of them going on. This one seemed very slow. And the one thing that I think is interesting and something to remember if you like are reading these is in the beginning in this prologue it says one girl will end up dead, one girl will end up married, and one girl will end up famous. And it's kind of like obvious what's going to happen with that, but it's kind of nice to keep that in mind to figure out how the story is going to end. And well, it doesn't happen at the end of this, it happens at the end of the trilogy. But I give this 4 stars. And then I read Beautiful Days, which is book 2, and I gave this one like on Goodreads it looks like I gave it a 5 because I haven't written a review or anything for it yet, but I'm technically giving it like a 4.5. It like jumped up a little bit with the action and the more romance and what's going on and the dangerous factor. So it got a little more intriguing. So I started this one Wednesday night right after I finished Bright Young Things, and then I finished this yesterday because lucky for us we got another snow day. There goes my paycheck out the window. And then lastly, because, guess what? We had another snow day today. Because that's just how life works up in the north. I finished The Lucky Ones, which is book 3. And I gave this one 5 stars for real this time. I felt like there was more action and more love stories. And even though it's still predictable, it like tied it all up into its nice little package. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Overall, I really did like this trilogy, and it's going to look beautiful all together, matchy-matchy. But I did like it. I still like Gillian Larkin's trilogy better, but that's just my opinion. That also really made me want to get my hands on the Lux series. I've already read Rumors, but I read that without realizing it was the second book in a series. I read it a long time ago, so eventually I do want to pick those up and get to them. So that's all I read this week. It's Friday night. I haven't started anything yet. I don't really know what I want to read because I've already read my entire TBR. Yes! But, yeah, I hope you guys are reading great books. If you've watched hauls and you know what other books I have and you have a book that you really want me to read and get to, let me know down below, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye, everyone.